afternoon, everyone, and welcome to League 87. Preliminary final time between Redcliffe and North. A vital match for both sides, with the winner, of course, going through to meet brothers in next week's grand final. The loser, well, they can hang up their boots for 1987. David Wright, North showed in patches last week that they can produce the form to win this match today, but the big question is, of course, can they keep it up for 80 minutes?
I think they would have learnt their lesson from that one, Bill, but unfortunately I think it was such a demoralising loss. The fact that they led at one stage 10-0, then 16-6 with 20 minutes to go. Very difficult now for Oliphant to get over that psychological barrier they're going to be up against. Plus they've had a number of injuries during the week, so I think Norths are going to do it very tough.
Well, Redcliffe, they had a great win over Winner Manly a fortnight ago. Now they've had the break. Is that going to work for or against them?
I think it's an advantage at this stage, Bill. I think they come in just that little bit fresher. Vanderbilt's had plenty of time to prepare the side, and as well as that, I think man on man, he's got better players. He's got better talent to work with. But of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can win the match. It's teamwork that wins these big games, and it'll be interesting to see whether Redcliffe can put together that sort of teamwork. I think they can. I think they're good things to go on to play brothers in the final next week.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the two sides that line up this afternoon. North's first up. In the backs, one change to last week's squad, and that's Neil Wharton. He comes in at 5'8", replacing Craig Groff. And that's a tactical change by Oliphant in an attempt to inject some more attack into that back line. And Trevor Cook still hasn't recovered from a hamstring injury, so Roslin remains in the centres. In the forwards, one important change. Bill Dart has succumbed to that hamstring injury, and Gordon Reid is the replacement. And McCabe has been named in the side, but there's still some doubt whether he will play.
A couple of very important changes in the Redcliffe side. Let's have a look at the back line first up. Gordon Barwick has come in place of Robin Thorne. Robin Thorne has been troubled by a knee injury over the last few weeks, so that'll be an important change. And also Doyle. Doyle's come into the centres. He's played most of the season there. And Steve Cherry, let's have a look where he's going to play today. In the forwards, we would think. He'll play in the second row, and almost inexplicably, Ashley Tupaia will sit on the reserves bench.
Okay, so plenty of changes to both sides. Let's see how they go. So the Devils first out onto the paddock, led by their captain, Darryl Duncan. And what a changes they've made to the side, Norths. There's been plenty of speculation as to who would be in the side. But as we said before, Bill Darter's out, Gordon Reid's in, and Roslin and Wharton in for Cook and Groff.
Redcliffe Dolphins led out by one of the best pound-for-pound footballers in the game, and that is Captain Steve Bleakley. Plenty of changes by both coaches just prior to the game. It'll be interesting to see whether those changes ultimately are disruptive. Steve Bleakley tosses the coin. Of course, the winner has the decision of which direction he'll run. There's Steve Bleakley electing to run with a slight nor'easter breeze at his back, and therefore Darryl Duncan, the captain of Norths, will have to have his side kick off.
So Neil Wharton, just before he crossed himself, and with the injury worries he's had this year, he has plenty of reason to do that. Fair chance that Craig Groff may even take the field today with his luck. Referee for today's game, Eddie Ward, signals time on. There's the kick-off by North, deep down into Redcliffe's territory. Kicking into that breeze, David, but it's not much subsequence.
No, not a great deal in Redcliffe's favour, although it's interesting to see that in last week's game, Bailey, there's a penalty coming straight away, not allowing the player to get up quickly to play the ball. Really releases a lot of potential pressure that Norths could have applied in the early seconds of the match. Now Redcliffe get their breather. But it's interesting to note that Bailey, the captain of Brothers, won the toss last week and also elected to defend the northern end of the ground, and on both occasions we've had this slight breeze.
There's the restart, so big Brian Niebling taking it straight up, and straight up he comes in from heavy tension from McCabe, wearing that heavy strapping on his leg, but he seems okay. Dave Brown now taking him on, and North's very keen in these early stages.
Yep, first indication there, the front rowers, when they played Winner Manly 2 weeks ago, we had plenty of latitude. They won't get it against this Norths pack. They're going to have to do it very hard, both Brown and Niebling. Niebling hurt already. The shoulder is injured already in the very first tackle. There he is in the background there right now. Ross Franklin attending to him with the kick downfield from Benson.
So that'll be disastrous for Redcliffe if they lose Niebling in these early stages, but Norths have it just short of their own try line. Booth and a penalty to Norths. Redcliffe up inside that 5 metres.
Yes, you must stay outside a 5 metre radius. There's Brian Niebling coming back to the action. But he's once again, there he is flexing the shoulders. He's been plagued by that shoulder injury all season. And now Norths here with another chance, or a chance for them to relieve pressure when Redcliffe were caught inside the 5 metre radius, having been in front of the kicker.
Booth with that kick finds touch on the quarterway as Reid running it strongly. Niebling testing out his shoulder.
Interesting, Bill, that Oliphant elected to use Gordon Reid as the replacement for Bill Dart, who had such a great game against Brothers last week when he did tear his hamstring. But Gordon Reid, a very tough rooster he is, and he won't take a backward step against this Redcliffe forward pack.
He did have Mackenzie as another replacement, but Mackenzie is on the sideline for this match. And now North with a clearing kick from Booth. That one goes down onto the Redcliffe quarterway where it's fielded by Donnelly, and he runs it back.
You can often read in the early seconds of a game just how the match is going to go, and I've been impressed already with North. There's an indication, three-man tackle over the top. And also it's understood that the instructions are to Paul McCabe to at least give Oliphant 30 minutes. McCabe suffering from that leg injury. We'll be looking to give it all he's got in the first half an hour.
They work at the blind side, Redcliffe. This time it's Keogh running strongly. Takes play 5 metres inside of North's territory. Koneski with a little run from dummy half, slips, makes a few metres though, and that's the 5th tackle. Keogh into dummy half. They work the blind side, Niebling onto Bleakley, back inside, that went forward to Cherry, and Eddie Waters picked it up, and we'll call the scrum.
Well, there, Redcliffe on the 5th tackle, electing to run the ball. They used the short blind side. Cherry, there he is wearing number 4, but playing in the second row with Doyle in the centres and Ashley Tupaia. I cannot understand that selection. Tupaia sitting on the bench. You can only assume that he's got some slight injury. He has been one of the outstanding players this season.
Well, we saw yesterday in Sydney League, George Piggins make those changes to the south side, and it was detrimental. Let's see how it works out here today for Redcliffe. North's in possession though. That's Jackson going from dummy half. Nowhere to go. Redcliffe defence very keen, as is North in these early stages. They're about 15 metres short of the halfway mark. That's Reid. Cherry, one of the tacklers. Niebling, that shoulder seems to have recovered. He's in there doing plenty of work in defence. Dowling running wide, looking for his supports. Had Wharton inside, but he's put it to ground.
Yeah, Norton, Neil Wharton there, disappointed, been dropping that ball. But Dowling had done well to create that chance for Wharton. A penalty has gone to North from the scrum, a differential penalty. And Dowling, who called for assistance from the trainer Ballard. Now it looks like Jackson is the man who's being attended to from Ballard, just in the back play at the moment.
North with the second kick, 10 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory. They work the set move. Dowling takes it back the blind side.
Once again, we see Michael Berg involved in the set play as the fullback. He wasn't back in his position last week when North dropped the ball, and that's what cost them a try when Burns intercepted to send ultimately Kilroy away. Oliphant still not concerned about losing possession.
Swing it wide. McCabe chiming in nicely. Finds half a gap, but it closed quickly. Bleakley making the tackle. Continue to work at the blind side. Duncan back in field. Finished off by Dave Brown. North, they're only about 30 metres out from the try line. Dowling once again, creating havoc out wide. Pull down though on the quarterway. 5th tackle. Wharton with the kick. Straight up and down though. Giving Redcliffe plenty of time. Up they go. Well taken by Benson. Benson takes the tackle on his own quarterway. Sandy looking for runners, finds Keogh. Konescu, Sandy into the hole. Sandy's still going, has plenty of pace up towards the halfway mark. Where's his support? Booth hasn't covered, no, he gets away from Booth, but he's gathered in and taken down in a good tackle by Barwick. Still going though, Redcliffe this time.
Wasn't held. Jamie Sandy quite at liberty to pass the ball.
Bleakley, speculator, finds Dolly, still alive though. That's Barwick.
Barwick's in for the injured Robin Thorne. Still a very good player is Gordon Barwick.
Standing in the tackle, Redcliffe keeping it alive. Bleakley finds a hole up the middle. 5th tackle. They're only 3 metres short. No score at the stage in the early part. Sandy, he's dangerous from here. The pass has gone astray, but knocked on, says Eddie Ward.
Well, Redcliffe butchered that. A better side would have made better use of the extra men they had there. North were thin on this side. They had about 3 defenders to Redcliffe's 5. Redcliffe weren't deep enough. The first player ran too close to the defensive line, upset the complete advantage they had.
Penalty to Redcliffe. Put across in the scrum.
I think he's got Bagnall there for dragging the ball back with the foot, Bill. Actually, the signal, and he was pointing at the number 7 as the ball came straight out of the scrum. The temptation there for Bagnall to bring it back and allow him to pick it up.
There's a restart. Brian Niebling running at the line, hitting the advantage line, and gee, North were waiting for him that time. He's pulled up just 2 metres short of the try line. Sandy setting it up. to juggle that one. Booth through very quickly to cut him off.
Too flat.
Redcliffe now starting to mount their attack. Out to Benson. Cut down though by Wharton. They come the open side. Oh, finds Keogh. Keogh for the line. Yes, he reaches out and scores. Great determined effort by Keogh, and Redcliffe put the first points on the board.
Well, it was a second lunge by Cleo. A lesser player would have gone to ground, but he saw that try line, very determined. Normally we see Bleakley as the man scoring the tries. On this occasion he set it up. I thought he'd come the wrong way because there was plenty of North's defence there. Didn't put him on the ground. Good pass. Here's Keogh. Looked like he was on his way down there. The last and second lunge gets over the try line. Great try from the Dolphins. Poor defence from North, though. They had plenty of players here. Have a look at this. Bleakley, normally the backup merchant, all the time in the world to stand in the tackle. Shows good strength for a small man. Keogh there to take the short pass. Could have gone down short. I'm not going down there. I'm going down across the try line. Too late, North. Keogh in for his 6th try of the season.
Trevor Benson with this one set up just to the left of the uprights. Moves in and strikes it straight through the middle, and Redcliffe move out to a 6-0 lead. There's the restart by Guy Harvey for Norths.
Important replacement in the North's camp. We saw Kieran Jackson down injured, getting attention a short while ago. He's been replaced by Ian McKenzie, wearing number 19. So further disruption to the Devils lineup. McKenzie, though, a very accomplished player. Will be a little bit unfortunate not to be in the first upside, so he'll be keen to get his chance.
Plenty of changes being made before and during the match, and it's only 10 minutes old.
Redcliffe player
in the background, down injured. Again, it's Brian Niebling, so he's coming for plenty of attention. Steve Cherry's driven into the ground, 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Goes back to Benson, puts the boot to it. Booth's back there waiting for it though, and again that's fairly negative kicking from Benson. We saw this 2 weeks ago. Some fairly negative kicking. Booth has it 30 metres out from his own try line. That's McKenzie, the replacement player. Sneaks a couple of metres from dummy half. Reid, he's been doing plenty of work in the early stages and unloads. That's good work. Back to Gerard.
If Norths are going to win today, they've got to do more of that. They've got to stand in tackles. You can't go one out.
Dowling calls for it, has supports. Picks up McKenzie again, running strongly. Takes play just inside of Redcliffe's territory. Duncan to Wharton. Long cut-out pass. McKenzie standing wide, gets his pass off to McMahon. McMahon stands him up, comes back infield. McCabe onto Bagnall. Good backing up from North. Bagnall still going. Taking plenty of stopping, the little fellow, and slips his pass. But I think Redcliffe will come up with it. Knock on, though, says Eddie Ward.
Well, North showing a little bit of enterprise. They're going to need to. I think they need to open the game up a little bit if they're going to play it too tight. They're the ones who had the hard game last week. Redcliffe should be fresher. It's up to North to try and make it as easy as they can for themselves, and that is by moving the ball around.
One against the head by North, and Wharton with the chip kick straight through. McMahon's following it through, but plucked in by Redcliffe. Well taken.
Great work from Keogh. He was the second rower in that scrum, so he's broke very quickly to get back there, save the day for the Dolphins. Wouldn't have been Gordon Reid, would it?
He's been called out.
Eddie Ward hasn't missed him, just as well he missed Barwick, though. Barwick wearing 5. Reid came over the top.
So Trevor Benson, who's already kicked 1 from 1, has this one set. About 30 metres out. And just to the right of the uprights, hits it fairly nicely. What do they say? Up go the flags. And Redcliffe now lead 8 points to 0. Guy Harvey with the restart for Norths. Down to the blonde-headed winger, Redcliffe, Knuth. He runs it back to the quarterway. Heavy defence there from McKenzie. Keogh. Oops. Lost it. Norths have it. Dowling.
I think it's up to Greg Dowling now. He's got to lead by example. He's the guy who's got to show the way for the Devils. He realises it. He's already tried very hard in the early minutes of the game.
Duncan, another player who should lead the way for North. Spinning out of tackles, finds McCabe coming up the middle. Good support work from North. They're only about 15 metres out. Bagnall works at the blind side. Wharton gives a pass out to McKenzie, back inside to Booth. Bagnall again. Holding it up. Too much defence there though. Can't slip his pass. This time Reed hitting the vantage line. Dave Brown, shipped his pass too, but I think referee Eddie Ward called play it.
Called held, so scrum to pack. Disappointment there for Reed because he worked hard to get his hands free. Let's have a look at it. Hit the line very well. There's Bleakley around him. In underneath another Redcliffe player was Dave Brown. And I think a little bit premature there from Eddie Ward. The front row is doing a good job trying to offload.
Redcliffe off the hook. Knuth runs it sideways, steps out of a couple of tackles, tries to straighten it up. Put down short of his own quarterway. Benson going for a run up the middle.
Redcliffe looking that little bit sharper.
Canescu to Niebling. Knuth hitting the line. Almost in the hole. Sandy. North with the chance now to regroup. That's the 5th tackle. Niebling into dummy half. To Benson. Tries to find touch with that one, but Booth's back there. Fields it in and runs it back up towards the halfway mark. Well taken by Teven.
Good chasing game, Redcliffe.
North now almost up to the halfway mark.
Guy Harvey tackle there. Of course, he suffered concussion. Didn't finish the match last week after a very heavy tackle from Brett Lemire.
McCabe, and the pass has been intercepted by Canescu. Where's his supports? Yes, there he finds his supports. Gets the pass up to Teven. Teven from the try line here out. Plays stuck and it scores. Teven into a try for Redcliffe and they're starting to run away with it.
Well, it came from a beautiful intercept from Brett Canescu. Reads the game beautifully, Canescu. North hoping to be on the attack and Redcliffe turned defence into attack. They hit back beautifully here. Let's have a look at it. Terrific anticipation by Canescu. Here's the ball coming up the middle of the ruck. That was Guy Harvey. Probably not as committed as what he should have been to hit that defensive line. He gets tackled. It's from this ensuing play the ball. Canescu reads things pretty well. Norths were looking to move the ball out on the left-hand side of the field. There it is through McCabe. Canescu just intercepted on Wharton. Then Canescu does well. Draws the defence. Benson hit it hard and straight. Incisive run, that one from Benson. Teven too much pace for Darryl Duncan. He had support in Knuth outside him. Didn't need it. And Redcliffe in for their second try. Here's the end of it now as Benson incisively cuts up the middle. The North defence in tatters behind him. Teven, plenty of pace. That's what Redcliffe's got this year. Different from previous years. And Rowan Teven goes across for his 4th try.
Trevor Benson has had plenty of practice today already. Kicked 2 from 2. This is probably the most difficult. Moves in, strikes it, it's coming around, waves away this time though. The score remains Redcliffe 12, Norths 0. Guy Harvey once again with the restart. He's had plenty of occasion to do that today too. Donnelly has it, up to the quarterway. Norths will need to get points on the board before half-time. Knuth. And he's been hurt in that tackle. It was a solid one from Dowling. Scrum so far favouring North, 3-1. They'll need all the possession they can get if they're to get back into this game. This time it goes to Redcliffe. Benson very quickly out of that scrum to tackle Sandy. Keogh. Dagnall and Wharton combining. Bleakley. Wharton again the tackler. Benson calling for it the blind side. Well, fooled himself then. McCabe appealing for the obstruction.
Well, Paul McCabe would be better off trying to make a tackle rather than referee the game because the obstruction must be a direct obstruction on the defender. McCabe wasn't really near Benson, even though he did run behind one of his own players.
Back to Benson. It's a better kick for touch by Benson and finds touch.
What a game he's having, Trevor Benson. He was tutored by Michael Liner a couple of weeks ago, it was reported. His kicking's been good, his backup play and his defence outstanding.
It's going to be fed by Bagnall. Comes back Bagnall's way. Tackle just short of his own quarterway and plays it forward. The Redcliffe players are up offside. He steps out of the tackle of Keogh though. Can't beat Cherry's tackle. Reed. Dowling again trying to set it up. But using himself as a battering ram. Duncan. Still, that's better ground by North. They're almost back to the halfway mark. That's the 5th tackle. Lining out deep on the blind side. Bagnall, they'll run it. Wharton. There's the kick. Oh, well taken by Donnelly. Had McKenzie coming through, putting plenty of pressure on him, but he took it beautifully.
Donnelly injured. He was down a couple of moments ago. And there's the new rule being invoked that an injured player can hand the ball over. Let's have a look at it. Donnelly sacrificing himself there. Goes up high, falls heavily to the ground. There it is. Bang, down it goes. So he's got a bit of a leg injury. Play goes on.
Oh, and Cherry made the half bust, but Tevan couldn't field the pass and a knock on. So Bagnall with the scrum win. Will take the tackle of Sandy. He bounces away. In fact, Sandy finally gathers him in.
Donnelly leaving the field. Redcliffe playing without a fullback. Lack of communication in the Redcliffe camp. Kick and chase by. There's Donnelly off the field. No one at home for Redcliffe. A kick is on. And
I think that's what they're setting it up for. Dowling the blind side to McCabe. Then over here to Harvey. Harvey back in field though. The defence picks him up.
One of the little halves. They want Wharton or Bagnall. Should be kick and chase.
Wharton now. Further pass out to Roslin, has to dive for it. They still haven't woken up to the fact. Now the replacement player on the field.
Brett Rolls is on. And he'll play at fullback.
Harvey again. Tries to stand up weakly. Does so. And stands up Ganescu. Still going Harvey. But can't beat the tackle of Sandy.
Harvey got himself out of trouble and back into it twice. He should have really then looked for his support.
Now comes the kick, but it's too late. Bagnall. Rolls sets himself. Well, he's made a meal of it. Dowling with it. Dowling for the try line. He'll score. Yes. Brett Dowling. An opportunity strike. Picks up and scores right beside the upright.
Well, there's no guy deserves it more. He's followed the ball everywhere today, Brett Dowling. He's not going to give in. Just the tonic the Devils wanted. The high ball. How often it happens. Of course, Donnelly's just been replaced. Brett Rolls not used to the fullback position. Normally plays in the centres. And who'd want to be a fullback with this one? Have a look at it. There's Rolls coming in. Had to come forward to take it. Under pressure. Rolls turns the back, turns everything, but doesn't take the ball. Dowling on the spot. We saw Canterbury, or I should say Canberra, score plenty of tries from the high ball yesterday. You've got to be there to pick up the bouncing ball. Norths were there. The high ball was a good one. Put plenty of pressure on. Bagnall it was who got the ball away. Plenty of height in it. There's Brett Rolls, number 17. His ball just misjudges it slightly. Should have taken that one, Brett Rolls. Ultimately, no pressure. Dowling picks up the loose one. This guy was not going to be stopped. He just said, I'm going to keep running. You won't stop me. And the big fella over. North's back in the match.
Guy Harvey with the attempt at goal, and there it is. Up go the flags, and now the score: Redcliffe 12, North 6. Ten metres inside of North's territory, just under 2 minutes to go. At the back line, Tevan. Nice tackle though, well cut down by Roslin. Fifth and final tackle. Benson. Booth has to chase it. That'll be too big though. Over the dead ball line and back to the quarterway for the restart. Dowling. Kenzie. Blindside to Reid, still running strongly, the big fellow. Takes play 5 metres short of the halfway mark. Duncan, Bagnall, Dowling, Wharton's dropped it. Redcliffe with a chance to come up with it, they do. Ganescu has it. But time almost out. Niebling. I think they'll be content to go to the half-time break now, Redcliffe. With that 6-point lead.
Build up to a kick, they should do. They should at least put a bit of scatter into the game.
Good pressure though by North. Keogh takes the tackle right on half-time. And Redcliffe go to the break, leading by 12 points to 6. Well, an interesting first half. The most interesting thing, I think, is the score. Redcliffe leading by 12 points to 6. Let's take a look how the two sides got their points in the first half. For Norths, 1 try to Greg Dowling. For Redcliffe, 2 tries, 1 to Keogh and 1 to Teven. In the goal-kicking department, Guy Harvey's kicked 1 from 2 for Norths and Benson 2 from 3. The scrums going North's way 7-3, none against the feed to either side, and the penalties going Redcliffe's way 5-3. Scrum penalties to Redcliffe 2-1. Well, David, as I said, the interesting score, 12-6, probably Redcliffe a little unlucky not to be even further ahead.
Possibly right, Bill, but I think Vanderbilt will be dirty because of that. I think that he'd be disappointed with the first half performance. They did lead 12-0 at one stage, and I think Oliphant's half-time talk will hinge around the fact that they themselves were down 10-6 last week against Brothers, and Brothers did come back to win that particular game. Vanderbilt, I think, will be very, very dirty at the performances of his players. I felt they went into neutral in the latter part of the first half. They really should have gone in for the kill when they were on top. They didn't get points when they should have done, and I think a significant point that's going to go against Redcliffe, although I still think they'll win the game, is the fact that Donnelly isn't there now, a key player from the fullback position, and Brett Rolls playing out of position.
Right, well, plenty up for grabs. Let's see how they go. So Benson with the restart, the start of the second half, kicking off to Norths, who this time will be running with the breeze. As slight as it may be, Mackenzie up to the quarterway. Cross to Booth. The kick downfield. Going to use that breeze from the start. Rolls. Standing up a couple of defenders. And still going Rolls. That's a great run. Takes play just inside of North's territory.
Of course, Brett Rolls was a regular in the centres until he got a very bad virus about 6 weeks ago, and he's only just been back in football now for 1 or 2 games.
Knuth to get up and play it for Redcliffe. Niebling. The back line, Teven. Nicely tackled by Roslin. Rolls again, involving himself in the full-back position. That's the 5th tackle. Benson, chip across again, that's too big. And out into touch on the full. Scrums favouring North, 8-4, 8-5 now as Redcliffe come away with it. Sandy Rolls. He's made plenty of yardage each time he's touched the ball, Brett Rolls.
Playing against his old club, and it often happens where players do lift themselves.
Keogh, 8 metres inside of North's territory. Redcliffe on the attack. Benson. Niebling to Barwick. Brushes aside a couple of tacklers. Can't beat Wharton and Dowling though. Brown, been quiet today, Dave Brown. That's good work though, slips the pass to Cherry. Cherry almost through. 5th tackle. Benson. Off the boot. Was knocked down by Keogh and knocked on.
Benson's been an outstanding player for Redcliffe today. He showed a little bit of variation there. Didn't quite get enough boot onto it to get it well and truly over the top of the line of defence. Let's have a look at it. He had raised his hand to tell his outside backs the kick was on. There it is, little chip and the knock on there from Keogh. Couldn't quite handle it. But Benson there again to back up and clean up.
Oh, and a bad mistake from Mackenzie. Had the ball jolted out of his arms, and Redcliffe now have a chance to go back on the attack. Sandy spots a hole. Sandy through. Asked by the defence to beat, but he can't beat them. As Kelso puts him down just 2 metres short of the try line. The blind side, Benson desperately trying to get over, but can't. Just pull down. Redcliffe mounting the attack. The blind side again. Konescu trying to burrow through.
Wasted tackle. Konescu was looking for someone to give it to, and no one was in a position to take it.
Sandy, it's dangerous. Still holding it up. Gives it off to Keogh, and Keogh will score.
Well, Bob Keogh, almost a carbon copy of the first try of the match when he took a beautiful short pass off Bevan Bleakley, and Keogh was there on the spot to score his 2nd try. And once again, Jamie Sandy starting to do a little bit more damage now the defence is tiring. But Jamie Sandy and he showed his strength there, even though he's the smallest man on the field. Probably a photo finish between here and Bagnall. But look at Sandy. He'd made a break just prior to this. There it is. Hit hard in the tackle. Couldn't knock him over. Beautiful pass. Keogh in the gap. Away he goes. The defence from Booth couldn't stop him. And Keogh reaches out, as he did in the first minutes of the first half, to score a fine try from the Dolphins. Have a look at the strength of Sandy. Hit very hard there by the North defence. Couldn't stop him from offloading. And Keogh, I'm going to make the try line. You won't stop me from here. Reaches out beautifully. Great determination. His 7th try of the season.
Trevor Benson with 2 from 3 so far. This one right in front. Strikes it and up go the flags. And now Redcliffe move out. They lead North by 18 points to 6. Restart from Guy Harvey, and I noticed behind the try line after that try, the North forwards taking in plenty of water, so maybe they'll tire. It's pretty hot out there today, David. Yeah, they'd be feeling the effects, Bill. Of course, they had a hard game against Brothers last week. Redcliffe, on the other hand, had the luxury of the layoff, and their woes continuing for North because Paul McCabe has finally succumbed to the leg injury. He's been replaced by Trevor Cook. Sandy with the scrum feed and comes up with it. Takes it the open side. Knuth. Bleakley up to the quarterway.
I can't see Craig Groff on the reserve bench for North either, so it may... Oh, hang on, I'm wrong. He's just warming up right at this time. So
Dave Brown slips his pass away nicely. Doyle it is. 10 metres inside of North territory before he's pulled down. Redcliffe starting to find some inroads. Benson, long pass out to Rolls. Bounces out of Broslin's tackle. Bagnall's there to clean him up, and that's the 5th tackle. Benson with a kick. Booth has plenty of time, feels it nicely. It's taken by Bleakley. Redcliffe players were onside. Cook now the replacement player. Not in this match in the starting lineup because of a hamstring injury. And we can see he has strapping on that leg as Wharton takes play to 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Dowling trying to inspire his side. It's a pass to Bagnall. Almost back to the halfway mark. Duncan will take play inside of Redcliffe's territory. Given plenty of room then, Duncan. And Groff is on the field for Norths.
Neil Wharton's left.
Rolls takes it nicely under pressure. Dowling in turn takes him. So Craig Groff on the field, replacing Neil Wharton. Conescu. Dowling and Bagnall, the tacklers. And not releasing the tackle player, Greg Dowling. Benson for touch. Finds touch 5 metres inside of North territory. There's the second kick. Brian Niebling with a full head of steam takes on the North forwards and was just about let run the 10 metres to them. Cherry. Bagnall clings to him. Sandy. Bleakley himself. Good tackle though. Sandy. Benson spots a hole, almost through. Bagnall once again there though. Reliable and takes... Oh, that's a silly mistake from Gerard. He was offside. That's a penalty. That's an easy 2 points. So, an interesting kicker, Bob Keogh. Not a bad average, 75%. Has kicked 6 from 8, I'm told. And up go the flags to boost his percentage for the season. And to put Redcliffe now way out in front, 20 points to 6. Guy Harvey restarts. Norths now need nothing short of a miracle to get back into this match. 23 minutes remaining.
They trail by 14 points. And the way Redcliffe are playing, the Dolphins look set to go into the grand final next week. But still, anything can happen in 20 minutes. Sandy. That's Dave Brown. Starting to open up now, Dave Brown. And a penalty to Redcliffe.
Holding back. Looked like Craig Groff he got for the inside man who was looking to back up Brown. Dowling's got plenty to say. So look at the penalties. They're flooding toward Redcliffe by 9-3, and Norse have not got a penalty yet in the second half.
Benson finds touch. 12 metres short, the halfway mark. Niebling with the second kick. Takes play just short of the halfway mark. Sandy, Cherry, right on the halfway mark. Koneski, a little run from dummy half. Gains a few metres too. Takes play 10 metres inside of North territory. Benson, that's a Teven. Can he slip his pass? Almost. Knuth was interfered with in the back play. Referee didn't see it. Bleakley has support back inside to Rolls. Rolls starts the motor up towards the quarterway. Keogh goes for his third try. Still going. Bob Keogh will score his third try and will bring it round close to the uprights. What a great effort from the second rower.
Fantastic stuff from Bob Keogh. He was selected to play for in the Brisbane team very early in the season against Parramatta. Lost form, lost a lot of heart for a long time, but he's come back to answer all his critics. A great game, this one from Keogh. 3 tries in anybody's business. This guy's made a bit of a difference too, putting a spark from the fullback position. I thought they may have been a little bit lacking there, but certainly Brett Rolls has done his job. There's Keogh, good deviation to beat Guy Harvey, and then the second winger, Shane McMahon, couldn't stop him, and Keogh's still got enough balance to come around, improve the position. And it was Brett Kelso coming in to stop him getting right under the sticks. Redcliffe now rubbing it in. There it is. Brett Rolls making the bust. He's got plenty of pace, Rolls. If Donnelly's injured for next week, they won't lose anything by having Rolls at fullback. There's a good change of direction from Keogh. Wrong-footed Guy Harvey and then shoved away from Cocky McMahon. And he comes around to improve the position. A hat-trick of tries in a preliminary final. Great effort from the second rower.
So Bob Keogh now looking to add insult to injury. 3 tries, already 1 from 1 in the kicking department. And how's he go? Misses this one. Well, nobody's perfect. Redcliffe in control, 24 points to 6. Guy Harvey, well, he's had plenty of practice today at kicking off. Steve Cherry lets it go. Picked up by Rolls. He received some attention after setting up that try to Keogh, but he seems okay now. Knuth. Almost up to his own quarterway. Sandy, Cherry. Still going. Good strong run by Steve Cherry. Bleakley setting sail from dummy half. Almost up to the halfway mark.
Defence from Norse. Craig Groff was one of them, and Bleakley's been injured. Groff, one of the fresher players. He should have been able to get to him.
Benson, little chip ahead. Booth coming around quickly, takes it nicely on the fly, and Booth straightens it up. Still going, Michael Booth. Has Cook in support. Keogh comes across, and nice cover defence by Bob Keogh. Cuts Cook down just short of the quarterway. Dowling to Bagnall. There's Groff. Groff open spaces, gets his pass to Kelso, but Kelso's put the ground on Redcliffe's quarterway. Duncan to Dowling, pass onto Cook. Once again, Keogh's there to snuff the movement out.
That was a good tackle from Keogh because he had 2 players to look after, and he just held off for a momentarily and watched where the ball was going to move and then moved in.
Gordon Reid to get up and play the ball. 10 metres out from Redcliffe's try line. Norths aren't finished with yet. But Redcliffe come up with it. Benson, and down. What a haymaker. Had that connected, he would have knocked his head off his shoulders.
Penalty has gone to the Dolphins. Dowling coming. Let's have a look at it. Being held up there is Benson, who's had a good game, and Dowling says, right, you're going to have to earn your grand final. Just ducked away from it. He'd be a good boxer.
So Redcliffe with a chance here to go even further ahead. Cowell. Nicely taken by Roslin around the legs. Brown, the blind side. Brown inside of Bleakley. Bleakley was, almost. Couldn't quite get his arms free and stretch out. Pull down.
Great tackle from Karakin.
Well, there's a bit of a mix-up in the play of the ball. I think Red could still have it. That's the 5th tackle. Canescu will be to get up and play the ball. The blind side. Well, plenty of confusion. North have it. Cook to play the ball back.
Well, that wouldn't please Darryl Vanderbilt. Once again, just little things, but when your side gets in a position like that on the 5th tackle, you've got to keep that impetus going. And Redcliffe haven't been able to do that a few times. They've had their chances. Karakin, who made that great try-saving tackle on Redcliffe a couple of moments ago, he replaced David Gerard.
And a bit of spite starting to creep in.
Well, Redcliffe won't want to buy into a fight, and that's one good reason not to buy into it if you can't fight to start with, but they're in the grand final. Why would Benson want to get into that fight when they're in the grand final next week? He now realises he can't fight either. There's number 6, Benson. He is very, very groggy. Only memory keeping him on his feet. Penalty has gone to Norse.
Michael Booth to find touch. 10 metres short. The halfway mark. Still in Devils territory. There's the restart. Dowling, as he's done all day, taking it up to the defence. Reid takes point just inside of Redcliffe's territory. Duncan setting it up. Dowling is the pass to Booth, chiming in. Really going through the motions now, Norths. Just throwing it around. Groff spots a bit of a hole. He's almost up to the quarter way. Gets his pass to McMahon. McMahon has support back inside. Kelso gets his pass off to the force, and Cook will score. Cook will bring it around. A late try from North. That's a consolation one. At least they'll go out knowing they can breach Redcliffe's try line.
Well, not a bad way to finish the season for North. They won't be in the grand final next week. 24-10 the score at the moment with 11 to go. Miracles don't come like that, but gee, this was a good try. Craig Groff has decided to run. A couple of times he's made a couple of breaks. He hasn't run all year. He's come out there certainly fresh. Here he is, fades across the ruck a little bit and then takes off. That's the way to play football, Craig Groff. He's signed for the Broncos next year. He's going to have to do that positively. Great take this one here from Cocky McMahon. Doesn't go too far. There was Keogh again trying to do the defensive work. Back inside to Kelso. Then Terry Karakin backing up down the middle. Karakin doesn't look like he's done too many laps of the oval this year. Fires the pass up to Trevor Cook. Cook backed up nicely to finally put the ball down under the attentions of Jeff Doyle. Here it is, the long pass out there to McMahon. Took it well over his head. The defence had been taken the wrong way with the inside pass. There he is, he finds Karakin. Carrying a spare tyre there, Terry Karakin. Couldn't get to the try line. Fired the ball up nicely. That's a good team try from Norse. They need to throw the ball around long before this, though. Too late for the Devils.
And Norse, in fact, Guy Harvey made good the conversion. So now Redcliffe lead by 24 points to 12. 9 minutes remaining in the match. North still with a glimmer of hope, I guess. But we certainly want to play better than they have done so far in this match.
Replacement for Redcliffe, Trevor Benson's left the field, and Steve Howard wearing number 21. There he is, just out of your screen there for a moment, wearing a fairly small 21 as a matter of fact. As a penalty goes to Norse for Redcliffe interfering in the play of the ball. Only 9.5 minutes to go. Redcliffe a commanding lead by 24 points to 12.
Greg Dowling, again taking the Redcliffe forwards on and takes play to the halfway mark. Reid. Well, we've written North's off, David, but try here would make things interesting.
Certainly would. I don't know whether they've got the firepower to do it though, Bill, although they are starting to move the ball.
Bagnall.
Redcliffe wouldn't want to put the cue in the rack.
Dowling. Still going Dowling. Busts out of a tackle. Gets his pass up to Kurokin.
Got nothing to lose, Norse, and they're playing just like it.
Fifth tackle. Bagnall. They'll run it. On to Cook. Still going Cook. Now the little chip kick ahead for his supports. Will he get the bounce? It's standing up. North and Redcliffe knock it dead. So North coming home full of running.
And good on them too, because Redcliffe once again have gone a bit easy. They haven't really got the accelerator to the floor, Redcliffe. There again, North will not say die. Good comeback by them. 24-12, 8 minutes to go. Possible to get at least a draw out of it, but highly improbable.
Keogh with the restart down to Booth. They're in a good position to attack now, Norths. Booth will play the ball on the quarterway. Kurokin goes himself from dummy half. That's good yardage. Redcliffe reluctant to tackle him. Now North starting to mount some attack. Dowling has supports, gets it off to Reid. Reid gets his pass to Groff. Groff on the try line. Pull down just short.
Who got him? Bob Keogh.
Effervescent Bob Keogh. Bagnall will score from dummy half and North are back in the match. Well, you wouldn't believe it. Bagnall scores.
Great stuff from North, showing great character. They may have left their run too late, but who knows? 24-16, kick to come. Will only be a converted try in it. Fantastic work from North to fight back. Good tackle from Keogh. Bagnall spots the opening, takes advantage of it. Eddie Ward right on the spot. Let's have a look at it from North as they move the ball. There's Dowling. Ever trying Dowling, the front row of Reid. They've lost nothing in having Reid. Good effort from Reid to get it away from Craig Groff. Groff almost there. Keogh drags him to ground. Quick play the ball. Redcliffe defence in tatters. Look at the little sharp work from the halfback. Has a look around. Bang, this'll do me. Try time.
Now Guy Harvey looking to add the extras. Moves in, but he's hooked it around, and that could have sucked North. They trail 24-16. As Bob Keogh restarts, that missed kick by Guy Harvey has really put North behind the 8 ball now. They were a chance before.
Yeah, really, he should have put that one over. Should have taken all the time in the world. He won't get a more important kick than that one. They really desperately needed it. And the spirits of North now must be somewhat deflated.
And still going though, North. That's good contract football as they bring play up to the halfway mark. Bagnall, inspired now North. Groff out to Booth. Cook, oh, heavy tackle though. Put the ground. It's Cowell. McMahon going for a run up the middle. Takes play 5 metres inside of Redcliffe's territory. Fifth tackle. Swing it wide. Dowling on the side to run it. Long cut-out pass out to McKenzie. He's not quick enough to be out there though. Kelso is. Kelso goes for a run. Will need to unload. Booth back inside. Dowling keeping it alive. The centre kick. Where's the North followers? But
on the full within goal area by Brett Rolls, and he's going to quickly come back and restart. I don't know why, because you want to buy time now. Brett Rolls, okay, he's caught North on the hop.
Good run by Brett Rolls. That was North's last chance.
Good effort from Dowling, tried to kick through just a touch too deep, and good work from Rolls to get back and cover it. He's done his job since he's been on to replace Donnelly in the dying minutes of the first half.
Dave Brown.
Redcliffe haven't had a lot of ball in the last 15 minutes. They want to value the 6 tackles.
Got out pass to Cowell. Groff has him with Cook. Just inside of the Devils' territory. Sandy. Howard goes himself. Gordon Reed's had a good game. One of the tacklers. Fifth tackle back to Keogh. Kick for touch. Won't find touch though as Harvey's back there and takes it. Still going. Crosses out of one tackle. Keogh, the kicker's there. Puts him to ground. Cook. Bagnall. Dowling. Cross to Kelso. Oh, bad pass though. It's gone to ground. That's gone forward and knocked off.
It's the head.
Ronnie goes ahead, and that's they needed that one. Booth in the line, makes the extra man to Groff, out to Kelso. Gets his pass to Cook. Cook's made a meal of it though. It'll be picked up by Redcliffe. And that should be just about it, I'd say. Redcliffe will play out time, just 3 minutes remaining. Brett Rolls to get up and play the ball. He's made a difference since he's come on. Redcliffe now content just to shut up shop. With less than 3 minutes remaining. Conescu to the quarterway.
A great comeback from North. You've got to hand it to them. They were well and truly down and out. 24-6 it was. Only a couple with about 20 minutes to go in the match. And they hit back, and they hit back very, very strongly. They could easily have put this game right back in the melting pot. It's not to be. A good season from North. Oliphant's done, I think, a particularly good job with the side. And he's to be congratulated as Redcliffe make the last serve.
Jim Cowell looking to slip his pass, couldn't quite get it away. Head supports linking up outside, fifth tackle. Howard work the blind side, Niebling, long pass, been intercepted by Cook. Cook, this will test down his hamstring. I think he'll go all the way. No, Teevan's coming across in cover defence. Teevan will run him down, I think. Cook changes direction. Teevan winding him down, pulls him down, just a metre short. A quick play the ball, it's still on for North. A quick play the ball, but I think he'll be penalised surely. Yes,
Can't play on though, play on.
Play on, Cook taps the ball.
Oh no, Eddie Ward's been tackled. Did you get that one, Brad? Who got Eddie Ward there?
Well, Trevor Cook pulled down in the shadows of the try line.
Amazing game.
North's now.
Dowling wants players outside him. He's got gaps out galore out here on the left. He wants the ball.
Dowling gets a shocker. Sets up for him nicely though. Cherry's there to finish him off. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Trevor Cook's hamstring was not suspect, how he would have gone.
Good point, Bill. Yeah, he's certainly been out for quite a while. He with trouble with the hamstring. Would have hindered him.
The blind side, it's on. Goes through McMahon. Almost an obstruction, and that's the sixth tackle.
And Keogh in there again to make a try saver.
And now, time ticking away. Only 50 seconds left on the clock as Steve Cherry runs it out. I think North can say goodbye to their final hopes. Rolls his tackle just short of the quarterway. It has been a gallant effort from the Devils. Knuth. If only they could have played this type of football from the outset.
Well, they needed to open it up, and they didn't do that. They played it pretty tight. It was only when they got desperate that they opened things up, and they've looked a different side. But they won't play in the 87 grand final. It'll be Redcliffe and North next week. As Doyle makes a break.
Doyle's still going, comes up to Booth, beats Booth's tackle and slips his pass away. Still going. That's Doyle now, in fact. That's Cowell, I should say. Cowell pulled down on the quarterway. Well, it's gone from one end to the other, and that's a silly penalty. Although it doesn't really make much difference now.
He's put him in the bin as well. He sent off Bagnall for a bit of chat.
There's the full-time leader.
Redcliffe have made the grand final.
Keogh, little chip ahead. Rescue following through. It's loose on the ground. Rolls picks it up. Still alive.
Bagnall hasn't left the field yet.
Well, Redcliffe will finish it off. There it is. Redcliffe through to the grand final. They'll play Brothers next week. North, gallant effort, but not to be. Final score, Redcliffe 24, North 16.
Well, what an amazing final 20 minutes of rugby league. Just when Redcliffe looked as though they were home for all your money, the Devils came up with 2 quick tries, and they didn't win it. They took it right to the wire. The final score, Redcliffe 24, North 16. Redcliffe now through to the grand final against Brothers next week, and North can say goodbye for 1987. Let's take a look at the point scorers for both sides. For North's, Dowling, Cook and Bagnall, 1 try apiece. For Redcliffe, Bob Keogh, that amazing effort, 3 tries, and Teevan 1 try. In the goal-kicking department, Guy Harvey kicked 2 from 4 for Norths, and for Redcliffe, Benson 3 from 4, and Bob Keogh topped it off with 1 from 2. The scrummaging went North's way 10-6 and 1-0 against the feed for the Devils, and the penalties Redcliffe's way 12-6, and the scrum penalties Redcliffe's way also 3-1. All right, our man of the match segment now. Not much doubt, I don't think, about who won it, but Dave writes down in the dressing rooms with our winner.
Well, thanks, Bill. Certainly no doubt. I think the hard-working second rower, normally known for his tackling prowess, but today Bob Keogh came up with 3 tries. Bob, did you go there with any ideas of specifically looking to back up today?
Oh, not exactly, Dave. Daryl's emphasised all week to go forward, whether they got the ball or not, and as part of our training, and it did come off today, yeah, it's good.
Norths came back there in the second half. You had a comfortable lead, something like 24-6. Just what happened out there?
We tend to run a little bit of puff, I think. The talking stopped. I think we got 12-0 first half, and talking stopped. So in the second half, we had a pretty big lead, and a few people left the field, a couple of main talks actually, and we just didn't respond to it. But our motto was last 2 weeks, never give up, and that's what we tried to do to the end. I think it worked.
Well, certainly sums up your season, really, doesn't it? Because you started out great at the start of the season, played for Brisbane, and then a bit of a mid-season slump. So you must be a very proud man today.
Yeah, it's good to get back, especially in the winning side. Like I told a few home truths by Daryl in the year, I wasn't doing things I could do. He told me what I had to do, and I did them, and he lived up his word to reinstate me if my form was good, and I've kept it.
Well, you certainly showed that his faith was good, and you had a great game today. Well done, Bob, and good luck next week against Brothers. One other player that also played particularly well, I thought, for Redcliffe was the 5'8 Benson. He had an outstanding match until injured late in the game. Vanderbilt, I don't think, entirely happy with the way the game went. Even when Redcliffe got on top, I didn't think they really went in for the kill, and they really did allow Norths to come back and play pretty well, mainly through the 2 front rowers for Norths. I thought Dowling once again showed what a big match player he is, and Gordon Reid as a substitute for Big Bill Dart certainly didn't let his coach down.
Yeah, as you say, David, Redcliffe really slacking off towards the end there. I don't think they can afford to do that against Brothers next week, would you agree?
Certainly right. Brothers will have the luxury of that week layoff, so they'll be very fresh next week. Of course, they just lost the grand final to Winner Manly last year. They've been driven on for 12 months to try and pick this one up, and Redcliffe are going to have to be at their very, very best to take out the flag.
OK, David, thanks very much, and congratulations to Bob Keogh, our Winfield ABC man of the match. OK, let's have a look at the results from the minor grades today. In the reserve grade, Souths 20 defeated Redcliffe 18. The third grade, Redcliffe 32, Seagull Diehards 20, and in the Colts, Seagull Diehards 32 defeated Brothers 8. Next week's game, the big grand final day. In the A grade, Brothers and Redcliffe will meet. In the reserve grade, Brothers and Souths. The third grade, Logan City, the newcomers, take on Redcliffe, and Colts Souths versus Seagull Diehards. But the big one, the A grade match, the 1987 grand final. For 1987, as I said, Brothers versus Redcliffe. Should be a big one. Don't miss it. We'll see you then.